Hello students, today we are going to continue with the first chapter from geography, our environment. In the last session we have studied about, we had taken the introduction of our environment, the classification of environment in the two classes, that is the natural environment and the human-made environment. We have studied in detail about the natural environment, that how it is then divided into the spheres, that four spheres are there: lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. So today here in this chapter, in this session, we are going to continue with the study of environment, the second class of environment, that is the human made environment and the ecosystem and ecology. So let's begin. After studying about the environment and thinking about the environment, students, you may have had some questions in your mind sometimes, that why a chinar tree grows only in Kashmir and not in the Gangetic Plains. Is it? It's obvious question that generally the chinar tree, it is not found rather than the areas of Kashmir. Is it? Very simple question. Maybe the another question maybe in your mind, that why are giraffes not found in the colder regions? Okay, it means generally these giraffes are found in the hotter regions only, and the chinar trees are found in the colder regions only. So it has the answer if you go in deep with the study of environment, and that we are going to study. The major reason behind that is the interaction between the components of the environment. Okay, so as chinar tree is also a part of environment, giraffe is also a part of environment. So, and the climatic conditions where they are found in that areas, that is also a part of environment. So the interaction between these two parts are the parts between the environment. That is the main reason behind that in a particular region a particular tree or particular animal is found. So why it happened, that the reason it is shown here. This is because all organisms grow in their distinctive environment to which they have adapted themselves, which is largely influenced by the physical environment. Okay, it means that animals or the trees, here we can say that they have adapted the particular climate of that area. So therefore the particular animals are only found in the particular areas. So why the giraffe is not found in the colder regions? Because giraffe has adopted the hotter climate to itself. So therefore it is not found in the colder regions. Why chinar tree is found only in the colder regions like Kashmir? Because the chinar tree has adapted the cold climate, not the hot climate for itself. So therefore it is only found in the colder regions like Kashmir, not in the Gangetic Plain. Okay, so in fact, organisms like a community live like a community and are dependent on each other as well as their natural environment for survival. See, organisms, all the organisms, living organisms and non-living organisms in the environment, that all organisms that are found in the environment, they live like a community. So like a community, it means what? In what way the human beings are living in the community with, they are interdependent. Okay, no being is dependent for all the things for on himself. Okay, he has to depend on the other sides for fulfillment of his needs. The same way is there every organism found in the environment, that is interdependent. It means they are dependent on each other for life. Okay, so because of that, okay, this dependency, okay, on each other, that these organisms as well as their natural environment for the survival. It means for the survival of these organisms, they are interdependent on each other. So it means what? The animals are dependent on the climates, animals are dependent on the soil, animals are dependent, the soil, the changes in the soil, it depends on the animal and the human activities. Okay, it means every organism is dependent on each other. So this relation between the living organisms with one another and with their physical environment forms an ecosystem. Okay, this interdependency on each other is known as the ecosystem. Okay, ecosystem. So they are echoing with each other. So therefore, this system is known as the ecosystem. Then the branch of science that studies the interaction between the living organisms and their surroundings is called ecology. So in simple words we can say that, okay, the study of ecosystem, okay, is made, and that science, that branch of science which studies the ecosystem, that is known as the ecology. An ecosystem can be as small as a puddle or as large as a tropical rainforest. Okay, ecosystem can be a smaller. Okay, there is no limit to be a small and there is no limit to be a large also. So it can be a small puddle, it means it can be a small pond also, where there we can see that some organisms, bacteria are being there in the puddle. They are maintaining the ecosystem in puddle also. And even if we consider the tropical rainforest, that extended on the various kilometers, so that also makes the ecosystem. It means ecosystem can be as small as the puddle and it can be as large as tropical rainforest without no limit of the smallerness and the largeness. Then life in an ecosystem is dependent upon abiotic elements such as sunlight, which is the source of energy, rainfall, soil, etc. Okay, so in this ecosystem the life is dependent on abiotic elements. So abiotic elements, it means they don't have, which don't have life. That abiotic element like sunlight, as all we know that sunlight, rainfall, soil, these all are the important factors for the life of human beings or life of any organism in the environment. With the help of sunlight we get the energy. Okay, with the help of rainfall, that is the physical factor of environment. Rainfall gives us water, soil, okay, soil and the organisms present in the soil, that makes us to make the land fertile. Okay, the agricultural produce are made with the help of soil. It means all the life in the environment that are dependent on the abiotic elements of environment. An ecosystem can be natural, such as deserts, mangroves, and even artificial, such as aquariums, terrariums, etc. Okay, ecosystem, it can be naturally created, like deserts that are the naturally created, mangroves. Uh, these are the natural creations. These are the parts of natural environment. Naturally, these are created. So where there the ecosystem is also maintained naturally. Even ecosystem can be maintained artificially also. Artificially, it means human made ecosystem, that aquariums. You may have seen aquarium at many homes, that there are the fishes in a tank. Okay, and particularly all the things, the environment, the live gases which are required to the fishes are provided artificially to the fishes in that aquarium or the glass pond. Okay, it means that is man-made, that is artificial. Terrariums, you may have visited many zoos where you can found the land animals. they live there. Okay, even the reptiles are there. So these are the artificial ecosystems. It means the artificial atmosphere is created, the same atmosphere where we found in deserts or where we found in oceans or seas. So these aquariums and terrariums are the better examples of the artificial ecosystem. The ecosystem comprises of distinct geographical zones that are called the biomes. Okay, get clear with this concept that ecosystem is divided into the distinct geographical zones. There are the distinct, it means larger geographical zones are there of environment that are called the biomes. So which are that? Deserts, grasslands, tundra, and several types of aquatic environments are all examples of different kind of biomes. Okay, get very clear with this concept that what is biomes? Biomes is the large zone of geography, large geographical zone. Okay, that are the biomes where all type of ecosystems are maintained. And these are deserts. Desert is a one biome. In desert, only the animals you can find, only the trees you can find there that had adapted with the hotter climate. Forest, so even in the forest we will find the animals, okay, that particular geographical conditions that are adapted by them. Then grasslands are there. In grassland, then tundra is there where there is very coldest atmosphere is found there. So like this, these are the distinct, it means large zones of environment which maintains the ecosystem. Okay, so each zone has its own physical environment and distinctive assemblage of flora and fauna. Flora and fauna, plants and animals. See here, if you turn towards the deserts, climate is hot, the physical environment, okay, climate is hot. Then where their fertile land is very less, okay, water availability is very less. So here in this area, the flora and fauna which is found, it means you can see the camel in desert areas, that animal has adapted to the hotter climate. Even the cactus, the trees and plants which are found there are different from the trees found in colder areas. Then you can turn towards the next biome, that is the forest, where you can see the particular animals. Okay, then grasslands, where there is more grass available, so the grass eater animals are found more in the grasslands. Then in uh, tundras, where there is very cold climate, so polar bears you can found here. Then chinar, the trees like that. So it means each zone has its own physical environment, and on the basis of environment, that zone assembles the flora and fauna. It means plants and animals which have adopted the climatic conditions or physical environment of that area are found in these biomes. In every ecosystem, there is a perfect balance or equilibrium. Equilibrium, it means balance in the transfer of energy and matter among the different components. The equilibrium is known as ecological balance. See, every ecosystem, there is a perfect balance in the transfer of energy. You can now take the example of the food chain. Okay, food chain is there. So that a rabbit eats the grass, then snake eats the rabbit. Okay, like that. And that chain you may have studied in detail in the science, that food chain. Okay, so that food chain is maintaining the ecosystem. Okay, it means this ecosystem is maintaining the balance in the environment. Okay, and this balance is known as the ecological balance. Okay, then any change in one part of the environment causes a ripple showing effect. Okay, ripple effect of change throughout other parts of the environment, due to which this balance gets disrupted and the ecosystem fails to function properly. Okay, it means any part of the environment, if it get changed, if it get reduced, we can see that nowadays most of the time we hear the news and watch it on the televisions also, that uh, tiger that entered in the city, it has created destruction in the cities. He killed some people, he attacked on some people. Why it is happening so? Because the number of forests are being reduced. Okay, so forests are reduced for the human activities like agriculture and human settlements like the cities and villages. So because of that, forest is the home of these forest animals. So their home is getting reduced. Because of that, these animals are coming in the human settlements. So it means what? It has a ripple effect, it has a showing effect on the throughout the environment, that animals, forest animals are frequently coming in the human settlements. Why? Because their abodes, their homes are reduced. Okay, it means even a single part of environment is get changed, it causes the total effect on the other parts of environments also. Okay, then let's turn towards the human environment. The human environment refers to the everything created by man, as well as his socio-cultural, political and economic situation. Primitive people had limited needs. Okay, see, the human environment that already we have studied in the first session, that what is human environment? That everything that is created by human beings, that is known as human environment. Okay, human has created many things with the socio-cultural activities, political activities, economic activities are there. If we compare the people of nowadays to the primitive, it means the people before 100 years or more than it, that people had limited needs. Okay, they adjusted themselves to their environment and lived in harmony with the nature. Okay, they lived in harmony with nature, they adjusted with the nature. Their needs were limited. Because of that, the use of natural resources was very less that time. But with the passage of time, the requirements of humans have increased and changed. The human requirements are increased with the passage of time. Why it is? Because so man became more developed, more civilized. Then population it increased. So because of that, the needs of human beings are also increased. And with the change of time, with the process of development, the needs of human beings are also changed. As a result of that, humans have started modifying their natural environment. Okay, so obvious, this is one example of this sentence, that human have started modifying their natural environment. What type of modification they had made? That forests are reduced, the land is made available for the human settlements as well, or the agriculture. Yes, because demand is increased for the agricultural produce. So to meet that demand, forests are reduced and they modified the natural environment, and for a they cut the trees and land made available for the agriculture. The man The land is made available for the construction of road after cutting the trees, we can see. Okay, so like these modifications in the natural environment are made by the humans. Then farming, grazing, mining, industry, and construction are some examples of human activities that have changed the natural environment. This has resulted in the disruption of the ecological balance and has led to environmental degradation. See, you can see these activities by the human beings. Farming is there, grazing is there, mining industry, these constructions. These are examples of human activities that made changes in the human environment. How it I have explained to you. For taking out the minerals, the man dug the land, so it has created it has changed the natural environment. This resulted into the disruption of ecological balance. Okay, the human activities had disturbed the ecological balance, and because of that, the environmental degradation is made. So, environmental degradation particularly it refers to the loss of biodiversity. Biodiversity, it means in the environment there are numerous species are found. Biotic or biotic species, biotic species are found. Numerous, uncountable. Okay, so that is the biodiversity. That is reduced. It means what? Number of plants and animals species are reduced. Okay, nowadays we can see that the number of tigers are being reduced. So it is the fate that maybe in future generations they can see the tigers or may not, like that question is raised. Okay, so reduction of animals and plants, depletion and degradation of natural resources is done with the human activities. So causes of the environmental degradation: inappropriate land use, such as poor farming techniques. Okay, where there many insecticides and pesticides are used. Over cultivation to get more production. Okay, land is cultivated continuously. Overgrazing, so increase in number of animals, so animal husbandry is increased for the animal production. So then deforestation, that already we have discussed about that. These lead to the soil erosion. Soil erosion, that removal of the top layer of the soil. Top layer of the soil, it is being reduced. The quality of soil is being reduced. Then inappropriate disposal of waste products and pollutants, both from households as well as from industries, that harm the natural environment. It means the things, inappropriate disposal of waste product, wastes that are taken from the homes as well as the industries. Okay, fluids are there that are flown in the rivers. Okay, so these wastes are thrown in the open spaces, that has made the land pollution as well as water pollution also. Then rapidly increasing population puts pressure on the limited natural resources, which leads to loss of biodiversity. Okay, increase in population, as I have discussed about that it made the increased in the need of human beings. Okay, to meet the need of increasing need of human beings, they started to disturb the biodiversity. Okay, and because of that, the biodiversity is reduced. Then rapid and unplanned urban development has led to the deterioration of air and water quality and the generation of wastage. Okay, urbanization is increased because of that, the waste waters. Then industrialization is increased because of the urbanization, that waste from the industries. So that smoke from the industries that has created the pollution, that has increased the pollution, which made the degradation of environment. Increasing transport networks also have a negative impact on the environment. For instance, the construction of ports and harbors disturbs the sensitive ecosystem of coastal areas. Obviously, the fishes or the ocean animals, ocean organisms that are disturbed because of the construction of uh, harbors. Okay, even the use of more and more transport vehicles that also increase the amount of carbon monoxide in the atmosphere, therefore the pollution has made. So in this way, all these human activities are responsible for the degradation of the environment. So here, as a global citizen, that it is a responsibility to think about the to think to save the environment, to decrease the pollution, and just stop this environmental degradation. So here, in this way, students, we have completed the chapter our environment from geography. So thank you for attending the session.